We are here for you. Migrate with all legal help. Watch the first episode of Law 101 titled Immigration Law, where attorney at law Charu Narang Reid answered frequently asked immigration questions. To book a consultation with Mrs. Charu Narang Reid, attorney at law in the state of New York, contact freelanceparalegalja at gmail.com. We are happy to assist you with your legal needs. Everyone. Thank you again for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Kyla Wright. And in our first episode of our Law 101 segment, we'll be discussing immigration law. And here with me is an attorney at law. She was admitted to the New York bar in 1998. People, that is extensive amount of knowledge in the legal practice. She owns her own law office called Law Office of Charu Narang. She practices various laws such as immigration law, family law, contract law, and intellectual property. So, guys, help me welcome my guest speaker, attorney at law, Mrs. Charu Narang Reid. Hi, Charu, how are you?
I am well. Thank you, Kyla. It's so nice to be here. And thank you for that lovely introduction.
Yes, guys, I know her personally. She's an amazing woman, phenomenal woman. She's been in the legal practice, I said, approximately 24 years. People, that's a long time. We're in good hands. We are absolutely in great hands.
I know, but when you say it like that, it makes me feel a little old. But yeah,
Oh,
a lot
and
of
she
years.
doesn't even look it. She doesn't even look it. So don't even watch the age. Don't even watch the age. But thank you so much, Sharu, for being here. I know you have a very busy schedule, especially as an attorney. And I think New York is one of the fast-paced type of states. So, I mean, it's I'm happy that you're here. I am extremely happy that you're here to be able to come on here and talk to us about immigration law and out of your busy schedule. So absolutely, I'm grateful.
Thank you. Glad to be here. And we see so many people who want to try and start living the American dream coming through New York. So New York is very, very busy, and a lot of people come through JFK, the airport. And I don't know if people know this, but also through the Canadian border, right? Because everybody always city, but you can also enter New York from Canada. So that's another way people come to the US.
Wow, guys, you better get your pen and your paper out and start taking notes because you see, she already start giving you the different sides that you can be able to migrate to the United States. So take notes, guys, and you'll be hearing a lot more from where that knowledge and expertise is coming from when we dive into the rest of our questions. So without further ado, Shara, we can jump in. We can jump straight in.
Sure.
All right. So our first question is, what are the different categories of visas that one can apply for?
Generally, visas are separated into two categories: immigrant and non immigrant visas. So,
Mhm.
your immigrant visas are ones where people come to do some shopping, visit some family. Basically, it's a visitor. Or if you have a medical issue of some sort that you need taken care of, only going to stay for a short time. And those are relatively easy to get. You have to show ties to your home country, right? So you have to show that you have a job where you're coming from. If you're coming from Jamaica, you get a letter from your employer, or, you know, anyone else who can attest to the fact that you have property there, that you intend to return there, show that your family's there. For example, your children are going to school and they're young. And then we have the immigrant category, which is what a lot of people are interested in, which is family based or employment based. So if you have a parent or a sibling or a spouse who is a legal permanent resident or a US citizen, then they can apply for you to come to the US. Now, in order for your parents or your sibling, they would have to be in a different category, legal permanent resident. Your spouse, I mean, I'm sorry, US citizen. But your spouse, as soon as they get their green card, as people know it, can start applying for you. And then there's employment based. If someone wants to hire you, then they can start the visa application for you on your behalf.
Wow. That's a good thing to think about because some people you don't have to only migrate to United States via family, but you can also migrate through employment. So that's a good thing to think about, guys. So as I say, it's good if you guys can take notes, have your pen and your paper out, because as I say, you're going to get a lot more of these juicy knowledge and information about immigration law and immigration services. So it's good if you guys can start taking your notes from now. All right. Let's go into our next question. What is the difference between the family-based green card application and the citizenship application? You guys just heard Cheryl touch a little bit on it. So now we're going to try and understand the difference between both.
So the family based immigration is where someone that you are directly related to. And as I said, it would be your spouse, your parent, your sibling applies for you. Once they apply for you, then you get your green card. After you get your green card, then you can apply for citizenship. So
Mhm.
that is the process. You don't directly apply for citizenship. You have to be sponsored. So someone is a petitioner for you and you are the beneficiary. And after you get your green card and a certain amount of time has passed, 5 years, then you can go ahead and apply to be naturalized, which is apply for your citizenship.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So now we understand the difference between the family-based green card application and the citizenship application. Thank you for that, Sharu, for breaking that down for us. And our third question, can an individual, which Sharu touched on a bit before in the prior question, can an individual work in the US while waiting for their green card? If so, how and what is the procedure? She was explaining about the employer that can apply for you, but let's get more into the procedure.
So you can actually work even if your family sponsors you. And you get what's called an EAD, an employment authorization document. And there's a form that we fill out that goes with your green card petition. And once your petition is approved, along with that, you get various things that allow you to begin your work life and your life in the US. One is an EAD, the other is your social security number, which allows you to do a great number of things, such as open up a bank account, get utilities, because everyone's going to ask you for your social security number. So as soon as your petition is approved, you will get these things that will start giving you the ability to work and start your employment life in the US.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And how long does it take for one to get their green card? I think you're mentioning 5 years or something like that. I think you're saying.
So after you get your green card, it takes 5 years before you can apply for citizenship. But it can take some time to get your green card depending on who sponsors you. All
Mhm.
right. So that is why it's important to have a consult with someone who has knowledge about these matters. Because if your spouse sponsors you, the wait time is less than
Wow.
if your parent sponsors you or if your sibling sponsors you. And if your parent sponsors you, we ask whether you are married or unmarried because there is a different wait time for that also. So it's important to have all of these details known to the person who's going to give you assistance before we can give you an answer as to how long it'll take. But the fastest way, usually, if you're going with family based, is spouse sponsorship.
All right. And I know a lot of Jamaicans want to hear that because it's in our country a lot of persons migrating through their spouse and all of that. So I know Jamaicans are eager to hear about that aspect. So guys, there you have
Absolutely.
it. There you have
Yes.
it. It's
And
easier to
then
get through.
it is. And I also wanted to mention, Kyla, that, with the employment based visas, there are certain jobs that are in high demand in the US. So if anyone is interested in those jobs, then they're going to have a much easier time finding an employer or perhaps finding someone who will assist them with the education necessary to go ahead and begin their life. And maybe a lot of people know this, but nursing is one of those. Nursing schools are recruiting people to come study in America, and then
Mm,
they assist them in gaining employment and getting their immigration status sorted out. So there are some professions, nursing, healthcare aides, and then if you want to come to the US to study, then you are on a separate type of visa, which allows you to stay in the US and study. And if someone wants to employ you after that in the US, they will assist you with getting your documents.
wow. You guys, I just wanted Cheryl to just continue and continue because it just sounds all great. I mean, there are lots of opportunities that Cheryl just mentioned, and I know she will definitely come on another time to tell you guys more about it. I mean, you guys hear of the different ways and avenues, and as she mentioned, you have different professions that can help you to get to that point of being able to live and work in the United States of America. I mean, she mentioned that the nursing field is high in demand, right? So, I mean, guys, that she's not just talking about, immigration law, this is the procedure, yada yada. She's also telling you, hey, you have some opportunities here in our country that you can be able to come and work, and the one field that we see in high demand is this, and that's nursing. So thank you, Charu. So Charu is giving us a lot of information about how we can get there, how we can migrate to the US, and not just migrate, but also to work. Because a lot of people don't know, once they get there, what do you do? You want to start working. At least she's giving you these ideas that you can take on yourself and start to really pencil down and brainstorm if that's the avenue that you want to go to, and try it out. So thank you, Sharu, for that. And our last question, how long after one's marriage can they apply for a green card?
Fairly immediately. We have had people apply 30 days post. So that is a very good time frame. And there's also the fiance visa. So you can actually apply if you and your soon to be spouse agree prior to getting married. It
Wow.
just depends. There are two avenues to have your spouse be your petitioner, right?
Guys, I wanted you to listen to Sharu carefully. It's not just about suppose like you get married and now you want to apply for the green card. She also mentioned a fiance visa. Like Sharu, just go back through that again because I want them to pay keen attention to that part.
And so many people don't even think about this because everybody is very, very interested in the question that you asked, how long after we get married can we do this, etc. But there are times when, let's say, the pandemic occurred, right, for us, that circumstances make it impossible for people to go through with their marriage when they wanted to because they simply cannot be in the same space. But we can try and apply for a fiance visa. Now, the pandemic made travel limited, but when countries started opening up, people could travel. So we had a client who did go from one country to the US because it had opened up in her country prior to getting married. And then you have to get married within 90 days of arriving. So you can come to America, have that time to get settled in a bit, maybe look for a place or a venue that you want to get married if you don't want to go to City Hall or you have to go to City Hall, but then try to find another place. But you have 90 days to make it happen.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for all of that information. I think Cheryl is giving us more than what we even asked for. I think she's really like giving more, like she's going beyond the answers. And that's what I love about Cheryl. She's always that person. She goes beyond, letting you have this type of information. That's just the type of attorney that she is. So she really does go above and beyond. So I'm really grateful for that, Cheryl, and for the viewers to be able to get that information and just more information on top of what they needed to know. So I'm absolutely grateful for that. I'm sure the viewers will be as well. So thanks, Charu, for being here with us. Thank you for taking that time out of your busy schedule to be here with us and to give us some guidance on immigration law and immigration services overall. So I appreciate it and thank you.
Thank you, Kyla. I'm so happy to be talking to you about this because you and I both know how important it is to have proper documents. Otherwise, when you get to a country like the US, it's so hard to start your life. You need your social security number, you need your work authorization. So, in any way that I can help get information out to people that'll make their road easier, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. So, guys, she is willing to help you guys. So if it is that you require consultation, you need legal assistance, you want to migrate to the United States, and you definitely require that legal assistance, then you can always use the email in the description below, and we'll hook you up with Mrs. Charu Narang Reed. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in our second episode. Which one will that be? You'll have to stay tuned. So for now, guys, bye.
Bye.